LSU with Kublik. Remember, our conversations are brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge, carriagesbr.com. They're on social media, Instagram and Facebook. T's come through with a box full of chicken wings, spicy wings from our friends over at City Cafe. Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, the crew.
Chef Christian Gardner putting this together yesterday. We said we needed some hot wings. You licked a little sauce off your fingers. How you feeling? So what we have here, we have a sweet habanero barbecue. And then we got some wings right here. So I'm gonna take my wings.
Any for the boys? And
I'm going to dunk them in here. Y'all want to get in on this? Okay, well come on. When we start this, come on up here.
Don't be shy.
You can come grab one. Get some napkins, Danny, because you're gonna have some tier list work to do while doing this. So do we want to go ahead and?
Is that milk?
That is milk. In case we end up needing, I brought a gallon of milk for everybody. But yeah, look, I'm gonna hit a nice dunk there.
Good Lord.
And then are we ready to?
You're going in with that type of sauce.
Yeah, you're gonna add. You're gonna add to it.
Yeah. Are we ready to do this?
I mean, the sauce is really kind of that's what's.
Yes, that's what they gave me the extra sauce.
Now.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like a crawfish boil over here at your boy.
Okay.
All right, bro.
Okay.
So your plan for this segment was to just eat on air and talk unanimous All-Americans of LSU football?
Yeah, go ahead and
put
the list up on the screen.
All right. So we're going to do a tier list here.
One wing down.
T-Bob wants to eat hot wings and talk LSU football since the year 2000 as far as unanimous All-Americans go.
Go on, boy. Go ahead and get your wing in.
I mean, how am I supposed to talk and set the segment up while you're...
Okay, I just ate mine now. You got to get one wing in. Get at least a bite in.
Well, take over. Here, pass the baton.
Okay, so here is the LSU. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit. Here is the LSU All-American tier list.
No,
I know.
You did dunk.
Okay. We're going to work at the bottom.
How are you dunking?
And we're going to work our way up top.
Why are you dunking?
So in the D tier, remember, these are LSU players from 2000 through 2019 who are either consensus or unanimous All-Americans. On the D tier, I feel like my heart's beating fast. We have Ben Wilkerson.
Sounds like it is.
LaRon Landry, Craig Stelch, Josh Jasper, Trey White. To be clear, too, to be on the D tier, you have to be a unanimous All-American or consensus. So this is not like a judgment of these guys, okay? This is just, that's Ben Wilkerson.
That's Elliot Porter.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Well,
Danny, you got Elliot Porter instead of Ben Wilkerson up there already. That's why he's in the D tier, disrespecting Ben like that.
Yeah.
Danny has to dunk his wing now.
In the C tier.
That's a good one.
I have Mo Claiborne,
Full dunk.
Leonard
Full dunk
Fournette,
on the wing.
Mo Claiborne, Leonard Fournette, and Greedy Williams.
Good wing, though, bro.
In the B tier, I have Josh Reed and Pat P. In the A tier, I've got Chad Lavallee, Eric Reed, Grant Delpit, Devin White, Derek Stingley Jr. And in the S tier, I have Dorsey, Burrow, Matthew, and Chase. Now, let's go around the room. Does everybody see one move that they would change here off the bat or have an opinion? Danny, go ahead and leave that list on the screen in the back if you can. Don't worry. You can keep Elliot Porter for now. It's not a big deal. It's just a fat O-lineman.
Shout out to Elliot.
Yeah, shout out.
I need to look. Did you have Corey Webster on there anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make it.
He actually, according to Wikipedia, was not a consensus or a unanimous All-American.
Oh,
Very
really?
surprisingly.
Okay. Oh, yes, I see that now.
Another odd quirk, Grant Delpit was the only one that qualified on this list 2 different years, twice. Out of all these great players, the only one that ended up on the list twice.
Well, I mean, you think Matthew, he was only his freshman and sophomore year that you got to see him. And his freshman year, while it was pretty dynamic, it wasn't what his sophomore season was. I would say the same for Leonard. And I thought Hunt had an interesting take on Fournette, who you have in the where do you have Leonard? You got a C list, which is that might be about right, because Leonard to me he was kind of a flash. Right? I mean, it was
a hot and heavy relationship. When it was hot, it was like
on, babe.
He was blowing your mind.
It was on.
You're like, I didn't know my body could bend that way. That's unbelievable.
I mean, the fact that he did not even make it to New York and get invited to the Heisman that season.
That Alabama game was a joke. And
think about that. Yeah. Think about where he was going into Tuscaloosa. He was not only the Heisman winner, like he was one of those Burrow type favorites to win the Heisman, and he didn't even make it He didn't make it the invitation list.
Even after the Alabama, Ole Miss, even after that 3-game losing streak, Leonard Fournette still was the nation's leading rusher per yards per game and did not get. That's a travesty.
Unreal.
That's a travesty.
Unbelievable. Where you were, like the Ole Miss game that season, the Auburn game that season, the South Carolina game that season.
Yep.
And to think that he did not get an invitation.
Florida game that year was great for him too.
To the Heisman Trophy award ceremony is amazing. I mean, it is amazing.
It's because Bama whipped your ass.
No, it did.
And Derrick Henry
won the
place.
award that night.
Yeah,
I do think I'll
You
still
okay?
stand by this. If you,
you all right, bro?
I'm starting to struggle a little bit.
Okay, you gotta quit dunking, man.
I'm 4 down, 4 dunked wings in.
Oh.
I do think
Syracuse.
that
killed Syracuse.
if you switch Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette, I will still stand by that the same thing happens. That loss was not on Fournette. But all of that said, like Jordy said, there was that hot and heavy span where he looked like the greatest thing in college football, and then
really.
And then he fell off, and I felt like, yeah, that's why he ended up in the C tier to me. Very good, but the wins didn't necessarily follow, and then a lot of the hype kind of fell away. Well, by the end, people kind of wanted Geis over Fournette.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember Fournette was injured most of that 20. Yeah. I mean, he was
injured the whole. He was
injured
the whole
year.
season.
He was injured the whole year, but he still goes out against Ole Miss that year on a bum ankle and runs for 274.
He sets the record, and Geis breaks it the next week.
But he also on the bum ankle, he gave you everything he could against Wisconsin. It's tough to call him a flash just because of that injury for me.
That is well and good, but we are sorting through the cream of the cream. And unfair or not, injuries do play a role in this, and they affect judgment.
Absolutely, they do. And I think that's why he was a flash. And this is not an indictment on Leonard Fournette, the player, as much as it is just his time at LSU. While, look, man, his 10 games, those 8 games his sophomore season, and I'd even go back the Music City Bowl game against Notre Dame. He was the best player on the field. And the Texas Bowl against Texas Tech in Mahomes. He put on a show that night.
Wow. The whole team put on a show that night.
I forgot they beat Pat Mahomes like that, dude. That's crazy.
They beat the hell out of DJ Chark.
Yeah.
Had a great game that night.
Brandon Harris.
Dude, how are you 4 wings in dumping in the sauce right now? Because I'm
committed
3/4 of a wing in. Yeah, commit to the bit. Commit to the bit.
I mean, and I'm trying not to drink milk till the segment ends.
What's it? I've never even heard of the milk and wings thing.
Yeah, well, milk for hot, for spice, it cools it down. With Fournette, though, if we're talking, I mean, I understand that team success plays into it, and it absolutely has to. But if we're talking about based off of All-America, I mean, that's an individual award.
Dude,
so
it's
I
not
think
as much team success. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It should be kind of the player that he is and was, the athlete, should factor in a lot too. And I mean, that's why I would have him higher than C.
Where would you put him?
I wouldn't put him in S, but I'd probably put him in A. I'd probably put him right below just because.
Well, somebody's got to go from A then because we've got too many A's already.
Put it back up,
one
Danny.
of my first thoughts is that we got to drop some of the A's down anyway.
First off, I would take Jamar Chase and Derek Stingley off of the table because.
Don't take them off. Just judge them where they're at currently, not where they're
going
going
to
to
judge them where they are currently. So to me, you would have to take Chase out of the S category because to me, if you're putting Chase in the S, you would have to put Stingley too.
Gotta stand up.
So
the only reason I put Chase in there, think about it. Not only did he have the greatest season that LSU's ever seen for wide receiver, but also in the Natty, when you're down 17-7, when you had to have it.
No, he's the best player on the field.
Who did they go to?
Yeah, no, he's the best player on the field.
Who won you the game with his one-on-one dominance?
Next August, Chase is in the S tier, without question. Right now, I think the S tier needs to be super exclusive. And for me, I'm fine with Burrow. I'm fine with Dorsey. I'm fine with Matthew. I would put Pat Pete there.
I would add Patrick. I would replace
just because he was
in the S tier.
Yeah, dude, he was a Thorpe and Bednarik Award winner. I mean, he was the best defensive
and he was
back
in the Heisman race for a while. He wasn't a finalist like Tyron, but he was there too.
And he was playing at a time when LSU's offense counted on the punt returner.
I was about to say deadly on the punt return.
And he was a deadly punt returner.
He returned two.
I would have Pat Pete would be my fourth. I would take Chase out.
So bump Chase down to A. Put Pat P up to S. How do y'all feel about the rest of the S category right now? Chad Lavallee. Or the A, sorry, the rest of the A category. Chad Lavallee in the A. How do you feel about that?
Lavallee was the face of 03 defense.
I mean,
the 03 defense, is it argued that could be the best LSU defense of all time?
I think it's between them and 2011.
2011 would be up there. 2005 had a great defense.
They did. They were very good.
And this is I'm just thinking modern days, but 2003 I think is recognized regularly as LSU's best defensive unit of all time, and Lavallee was the face of that. That featured Marcus Spears, that featured Corey Webster, that featured LaRon Landry, that featured Jack Hunt, and everybody talked about Lavallee every week in that 03 season.
I mean, I remember being a little kid and him being on all the interviews and everything else, and that's why I had him in the A. So we're keeping him in A.
You got sweat beads under your eyeballs. Do you want to take a break and come back and do this? Yes. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll continue this conversation of LSU.
See what the huddle has to say too on its huddle that day. Where would y'all put this all in?
We'll be back with more Off the Bench presented by All Star Toyota. All right, shout out to our people over at City Cafe, Squeaky and Cody Miranda right there in the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill, where good friends meet. Don't forget, they got the boiled shrimp back daily. Great lunch specials. Stop in and tell them you heard it here on OTB. Appreciate the wings this morning from the crew.
Yeah, we killed them, dude. Also, I'm through it. No milk. 6 wings, all dunked. Easy money, baby. It was a little hard at times. Could definitely handle hotter. The thing is about these wings, though, I was thinking we were going to get like gimmicky hot wings. These actually have a great taste. You cannot order these on the menu. You could call ahead and get them ordered. But yeah, this is a chef, as I said, Chef Christian Gardner made his own sweet habanero barbecue. And this is not a gimmicky sauce. Like, this is just a legitimate sauce if you like hot things. But yeah, very tasty, very delicious. Your boy's already recovered. No milk. I don't want to say I'm a beast, but hey, what are you going to do?
I'll do it. You're a beast.
S tier.
Let's get to it.
S tier wing eater, baby.
The tier list. Danny, the list. Bring it back up. Where are we?
We're on A. We're still on A. We're still deciding on A.
All right, so
to keep Lavallee.
I'm good with Lavallee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with Lavallee on the A list. If we're talking more about that 03 team, I would absolutely have Josh Reed. I mean, not the 03 team, but the early days of this list. I would absolutely have Josh Reed on the A list as well.
Okay, so move.
So
I think Josh Reed started on the B, so move him up to A. Somebody's got to go for adding Josh Reed. What about Eric Reed?
I would take Eric Reed out.
I would take Eric Reed down as well, and probably Stingley.
Stingley, I would take.
It's just 1 year. I mean, I know, and it was fantastic. He's got 2 more left. Just 1 year.
I mean, to be fair, almost everybody else in the A category.
I mean, if we're going by 1 year, Mo Claiborne's 2011
was very good.
Was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
And if he's and that's the year that he was consensus
kickoff
All-American.
Too.
The kickoff return against West Virginia was the play of the game.
Spot.
Was the play of the game.
But we're already too full.
The interception in Tuscaloosa.
And granted, he was an award winner.
Touchdown in that one.
It looks like everybody else in this group was an award winner. I'm actually okay with you, Musso. I'd move Stingley down to B.
I got no problem with Devin White being there, but
then I say we hold.
Did Reed win the Thorpe? I didn't think so. So Reed didn't win an award, so I'm good with moving.
So
Reed
bump
down.
Eric Reed down to B. Danny, bump Derek Stingley Jr. down to B, as well. I think we keep Jamar Chase. Are we bumping Chase from S to A? Or are we keeping Chase in S?
I thought we were bumping him down.
Okay, bump down Jamar Chase.
I thought that.
I would put Chase and Stingley both at B, but you go back to these two cats next summer and they both could be S.
It's just tough to put Chase at B because
the best season ever for a wide receiver.
And he won the Biletnikoff, right? And if we're gonna honor Tyrann Mathieu for his legendary get invited to New York season, like Chase had that similar singular impact. Okay. I can't go below A.
Right. You have Reed who won the Biletnikoff 2 in A, and Chase's season is statistically better than Reed. I mean, so you have to have them at the same level, I think.
Honestly, looking at this, I mean, I don't feel like you can bump Devin White down because of everything that he did. He was near perfect for you. I think Chad Lavallee gets bumped down to B.
Are you not good with 4 people in tier A?
I don't want to have more A tier players than B tier players. I don't think that makes sense as far as the list is concerned.
I was going to argue to bump somebody from C up to B.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I think if anything,
because Lavallee's the face, but was Lavallee actually on the field? And he was incredible, but was he as good as these other guys were on the field? When you're talking about who else is on that list right now, that's Devin White, Josh Reed, Jamar Chase, and
Delpit.
And then Delpit. Was Lavallee in that category of player?
I think he was in the 2003 season for 1 year.
I was a kid. I mean, I was 14 years
That
old.
was his All-American year. Was
For 1 year.
Oh, no, I
he
remember. I was 14. I remember loving the team, and as you said, he was the face. He was all over the media constantly. I guess maybe I'm just being a slave to the moment or slave to recency.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to do, because if you look further down the list, you do have Wilkerson, Steltz, Landry, and
Claiborne and Jasper.
You know what I mean? That they're further down and they're further back in your mind, and you don't want to forget or let distant memory play. That be the cause of them not being higher on the list.
All right. Then leave Lavallee and A. Then it seems like A might be locked. Are we cool with B? We have Marcus Spears, Eric Reed, and is that Derek Stingley?
I said I would put Fournette up there, but I know I'm outnumbered on that, so I'm sure he'll stay. What about Trey White? Possibly.
Yeah, I got Trey White in D currently, and I don't know if that's correct. He was dominant at LSU. He returned multiple punts for touchdowns.
He was an okay
first round pick.
He was an okay punt.
But he did score touchdowns. But he made a lot of mistakes. But he scored.
Okay,
and like North
I didn't
Texas,
say he was
right?
great. I said he was good.
And North Texas.
He had that wild one against, was it Jacksonville State, where he just, everybody, no, wait, go.
Yeah, it's very like fumbled, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so then now in the C category, you have Leonard Fournette, Mo Claiborne, and Greedy Williams.
Is that Mo Claiborne or is that Trey White?
This is Trey White.
Trey White on C, bud.
This is Trey White. This is Claiborne.
Okay, well they're flipped from where they were originally on my list. I
would definitely move Claiborne up.
Yeah.
Move Claiborne up to C?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I had him on my list. Claiborne at C.
I mean, Claiborne might have been the best player on LSU's best defense.
Okay, what about your boy Greedy Williams,
Or
dude?
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, defensive
See,
ends
that's
on
the
that.
thing. To
that,
me,
that defense
yes,
is the best to me.
It's definitely
2011 is
some
the
of
best
its
one to
parts,
me.
but Tyrann was the X factor that made everything that he had that quarterback-like effect of bringing everybody up around him and making everybody better. But yeah, your ends, your Mingos, and
then you had Brockers.
Sam
I mean, is that
Montgomery,
the best defensive line?
Brockers and Logan. I mean, it's hard to say that when what did that 03 line have?
03 Lavallee, Spears.
Was Claude Roten on that?
Marquise Hill.
Marquise Hill was on
Claude
that
Roten already gone?
Claude Roten wasn't here yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wasn't here yet.
yet. The
Junior
other
in
defensive
05?
tackle in 03 that was
Who was
big on
next
that
to
team.
Next to Lavallee?
Golly, why can't I can't think of who that was on that team. Let me think of it. It'll come to me. So where are we? We're on C.
Yeah, we're on C. No, I think we're okay. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up then. Are we? I think we're happy with C, right? We have who's the final count there? Is that?
I got
That's
Fournette,
Fournette.
Claiborne, Greedy Williams, Trey White.
Does Greedy Williams deserve to be in C or D?
I don't mind Greedy and C.
No, me either.
Okay,
I really don't.
Okay. And then on the bottom we got Ben Wilkerson, who is my guy. Absolutely love Ben Wilkerson.
Is he
monster.
the only Remington Award winner at LSU? Is he?
Yeah. Should he be higher than D?
Maybe so.
I mean, I'm down to bump Ben up to B. I'm a big fan of Ben. If y'all are cool with bumping Ben up to B, I also think that Ben. I don't know if this counts for the purposes of this conversation, but I've said it actively, or I've said it a lot. I think that Ben Wilkerson is the X factor behind 2011's offensive line play, and why the line took such a big jump in 2010 and 2011. Because as good as Coach Stud was at a lot of things in teaching O-line play, actually teaching technique was definitely not his strong suit. And Wilkerson came in and he brought all this NFL knowledge. He had just gotten out of the league. He brought drills that we weren't doing before. Like, he had a massive impact. So yeah, Wilkerson to B.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Because he is an individual award winner.
Kyle Williams was the other defensive tackle.
Oh,
in
no.
03.
God,
How
okay.
can we forget that?
Okay, we
That's our
suck.
fault. Yeah,
How
that's
is
our
he
fault.
not a consensus or
That's-
unanimous All-American?
that's
Look
our
what
fault.
Kyle Williams went on to do in the league. Okay, so no, the 03 line.
Well, I mean, we talked about that 05 defense. He was the face of that. He was the face of that.
senior.
Yeah, he was the one that gave him that speech in Tuscaloosa, and they had to come back and win an OT.
I think from a talent standpoint, 06 was better. The 05 one's one that Tommy Moffitt always says. If it wasn't for Katrina, it was probably the most talented team.
I'm telling you, that
of the
05 team,
Saban Miles era.
That 05 team that beat the hell out of Miami on the field and in the tunnel. If they would have gotten a bye week, they might have been the national champs.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, and then the other D list right now, we got Craig Steltz, LaRon Landry, and Josh Jasper.
I can't speak high on Jasper. I know that's your guy.
Yeah, he's
here.
awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
great kicker.
So I mean, he's a kicker on the on this list. Just the fact that he's on the list is good enough.
Yes.
So put him at the D.
Yes, if a kicker was going to get bumped up on this list, they would need a Lou Groza to their name or like a championship winning kick to their name. Now he hit a lot of big kicks to win games, but obviously not the biggest boy.
When I think of safeties, when I think of defensive backs at LSU, I think Tyrann Mathieu, I think Patrick Peterson. When I think safety, I think LaRon Landry.
He's the only one I would probably move off
up?
of D. Yeah. Dude, Landry was an impact player.
I mean, that 05 defense.
But look at these other DBs. If we pull all these DBs together, are you taking Landry over Reed?
Well, see, the only thing about these DBs that I see is that outside of Delpit, are they all corners?
Delpit and Reed. So Delpit and Eric Reed. Are you those three? LaRon Landry, Grant Delpit, Eric Reed. Who are you taking?
I mean,
you know what?
They were all first round picks.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we are this is the ultimate sports
hairs.
talk splitting of hairs. But I mean, I feel completely comfortable.
LaRon was the hardest hitter out of them.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
LaRon was the one
Eric Reed could lay some lumber.
You know,
man.
Eric Reed would hit you. Eric Reed was probably the best football player out
in
of
college.
all three of them.
I think so.
Eric Reed was probably the best football player out of all three of them. But LaRon owned that real estate on the back end of a defense better than he scared the hell out of people.
Mm-hmm.
I still see him hitting Brody Croyle at Alabama. I still see him hitting that Arizona quarterback on that blitz. I mean, when he would get through on the blitz, and that's what I'm fired up about seeing in Pelini's defense. I don't mean to get off topic, but I mean, like, blitzing defensive backs.
There it is.
Whew. I mean,
what about though? I mean, play the Eric Reed Arkansas highlight where he kills the guy coming over the middle, or the pick in Tuscaloosa, which won us the
best play
game.
of 2011 was made by Eric Reed.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean,
best play of 2011.
Yeah, guys, just man, that speaks to it to have LaRon Landry on the D.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did have LaRon Landry also had the most impressive body that I've ever seen in my entire life. For me, a freshman 07 and going to 7-on-7.
He got too freakish.
It did. Especially that one picture of his biceps where he's advertising his new.
He looked like he had
where they were bigger than his head.
A baby inside of his arm.
Yeah.
All right, Cole Kubelik. We'll talk to you next.
I feel like we pretty much nailed down the list, though. Oh, so, Danny, go ahead, lock it, and then we'll put it out there and see what people think.